Welcome to our YouTube channel and to the Super 8 Motel in Boca Raton, Florida. I'm here on a commercial layout build. The layout is loosely based on Indian practice, although the owner just runs whatever he wants to. He has trains from 4 different continents. But that's okay, it's his railroad, his rules, and he has a lot of fun in the process. It's a double-deck layout. It's quite complex, there being over 60 turnouts in a layout approximately 10 feet by 16. Anyway, without further ado, let's just turn the camera off and get to work. Well, here I am in the customer's layout room. I've been here for a few days already, although so far I haven't yet had an opportunity to make this recording. There's just been too many people in here, not even room to move, and it's been way too noisy as well. The layout is set in India, which is a first for me. It's being built in a single stall garage. The layout is about 10 feet by 16, and there's about a 4-foot area at the end of the room, which is just circulation space. It's not used by the layout. As you can probably tell from the backdrops behind me, it's going to be a double-deck layout. The lower deck was already installed by the previous crew, although there was a lot still to do on it. We've had to rewire virtually the whole thing because there was so many mistakes, and also a lot of track had to be cleaned up, trued up to get it to work. Been doing that for the last 4 days. I haven't been able to make any recordings up until now because there's always been too many people milling around in here, too noisy, not enough space to work. So anyway, I had to turn the camera off and get back to work now. Well, this morning there was a whole load of wiring issues to take care of, so that doesn't notice. This afternoon though, we did get some pretty good visible progress. We've got about 2/3 of the upper deck installed. We would have had time to do one more section if the backdrop had been up here, but the boss likes to do that himself, so I didn't take that off him. Anyway, we'll get the rest of those sections installed tomorrow, and then I can start working on the helix. If you look under here, you can see the upper deck rests on 5/16 screw rods, 2 at this end and 1 halfway along where the two sections join. And that is pretty strong. The helix will be supported on 12 more of the screwed rods. Now here is the site of the helix. Most of the pieces have been cut and given to me in the form of a kit, although I've got to modify everything. I started modifying this framing under here because this piece has to be cut out. It fouls the top of the helix. There's a piece over the other side that's going to be cut away as well, because otherwise the threaded rods are going to go right through it, and I won't be able to get the nuts on from the top. Well, yesterday we got most of the upper deck installed. There's still a beam to go in across here. The bottom deck has a hinging gate, which I built on the first day, but the top deck is going to be a duck under. The owner's fairly short, he barely even has to duck. Spent part of yesterday afternoon working on the helix, and it looks a real mess at the moment. I had the bottom turn almost complete, and then the game changed. The customer came up with some rolling stock which is significantly taller than what he previously told me was his tallest. So I've got to redo it and go to a 5-turn helix instead of a 6-turn. Hopefully his locomotives will still pull up the hell. Anyway, before I can get back to doing the helix today, I have some other stuff to take care of. So here is the helix, approximately 3/4 done. All the wooden pieces and the structure is in, and the track is done about halfway up. I couldn't get it finished yesterday because the screws were not holding, so I had to leave everything clamped. Clamps can now be taken off and I can get it finished. I'll have trains running on it today. The helix has now been finished. I can't really get far enough back to show it all. Yesterday I had a locomotive run all the way from the bottom to the top and back again. There's 5 laps, just over 12 feet per lap. That's over a scale mile. My first task for today is to cut a turnout into here for a cut-off track that the customer wants across here and connecting up with that bridge over there. The only curved turnouts we were able to get are 28 out of 32, and we need about a 24 out of 28. So I'm going to have to modify this one. I'm going to try cutting away the webs with a chisel blade, and hopefully I can flex it just a little bit more to make it work. Well, this is what the layout is looking like 2 days before the end of my trip. The boss originally was hoping to get everything finished. Clearly that's not happening. We've had to undo all the electrics and go back to square one because there were so many shorts and so much bad wiring that it really wasn't running. The electrical guy has taken the morning off. He's left this area unfinished, and I'm not quite sure exactly what connections still need to be made. So rather than risk shorting something out, I'm going to leave it for him. I think I'm going to head over to this side of the layout where the bridges are and start stacking up some blocks prior to doing scenery. Even though the scenery is now scheduled for another trip, probably January. Well, that's all I recorded on this trip. I didn't get the camera out at all during the last 2 days. I wish I'd taken a lot more pictures, but unfortunately it's too late now. There's nothing I can do about it. I will be back again in January, and I will record some more footage then. Until then, thanks for watching, and bye for now.